Welcome to the Black Knight Nation podcast. I'm your host, Sal Interdonato, here with a very special edition of the Black Knight Nation podcast, here with co-host Steve Anderson. This is our 2010 Armed Forces Bowl Championship reunion show, and feels fitting considering that the Black Knights are going to be playing tomorrow night in the Armed Forces Bowl against Missouri. If you're following our podcast, you can get us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. You can get us on all the podcast platforms, and Black Knight Nation's our website. So, Steve, thanks for putting this together, man. We have a bunch of guys who were really key contributors to the bowl win and a part of that 2010 team on tonight.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sal. So we're going to start off just kind of introduce everybody, but yeah, it's awesome. All these guys, we kind of came up with this idea about a week ago, and I let these guys know, 3 days ago, and they were all about it. So I appreciate them. Brotherhood runs deep, as we know, and we'll just start with BC. Just go ahead, and then we'll just work our way around the table.
All right. My name is Brian Cobb, class of 13, and when we won the bowl game, I was a slot back.
Go ahead, Sean.
Sean Westfall, 2011 grad. For the bowl game, I was linebacker.
Go ahead, Truth.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Zach Peterson, a.k.a. Truth, was the starting center at Army in 2009 and 2010. Member of that 2010 bowl season that we're here to talk about. So proud of that team and so proud of the legacy that class of 11. But, yeah, D-Trav knows, man. It was a great game, man.
Man.
Think about that game.
Hey, we needed Zip. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without you.
I wish there was more guys to be on here tonight to talk about it, but happy to be here. Played center. I'm actually going up to the team next year to basically serve as the future version of Major Bagley, if you all remember him.
Ooh, okay.
Back in the mix.
That's dope, bro.
Hey, that's a strong rep, Jeff. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm back in the mix, and I can't wait to get back into Army football. I GA'd, played, was at the prep school with Steve and D-Trav. I think Westfall was a direct admit, so unfortunately he wasn't a prepster from 07.
Yeah, that 5-year program, baby.
Man. Yeah. I'm about it, man. Pumped to be here tonight. Sal, I haven't seen you in a while, man. You look like you're doing pretty well. So that's awesome. But thanks for the intro, Steve.
Yeah. Go ahead, D-Trav.
Well, yeah, Steve, Sal, thank you guys for doing this, and for the rest of y'all to get on here, and I definitely appreciated the brotherhood. We picked up where we left off, you know what I mean? So it's great to be on here. Like I said, D-Trav, Donovan Travis, 2 first names, free safety. A lot of these youngins out there had the pleasure of playing a good football, and just to have that bowl game experience was something amazing. It's just, I couldn't imagine what they're doing right now, how wild that campus is going to be. And so thank you guys for doing this, and definitely appreciate being here. Is 44 on here?
I see 4 side on me. What you got, J-Mac?
He would do something. He would do something like that.
There is a 44 on here. Unfortunately, I'm not all that presentable. But yeah, I got a virtual arm twisting from Big 5-0
Already.
So I figured I'd try to make a quick appearance. But yeah. Anyways, this is Josh McNary. Can't show my face right now, but obviously, pleased to be in the company of these great men, class of 2011, and yeah, to echo what Trav said, it was definitely a great way to cap off the experience, but kind of going along with what Zip said, also like taking it back to 2006, where it all started at the prep school, and for most of us, I know there's some brainiacs in here like Westy, that weren't so fortunate. But yeah, just the development, the evolution, and the reward of like stepping up finally when we got our name called and kind of delivering in the way we could.
It's good. And JJ, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, in true 2010 bowl season fashion, I had my elevated speech ready, and J Mac just came in and stole the show just only as you seniors could do, and that's a perfect big brother relationship. Josh Jackson, JJ here. I was a defensive back, punt returner. I was a kick returner, but I fumbled in the Army Navy game and I got fired. So the bowl game, I wasn't a kick returner anymore. But I won't be long winded. D-Trav, Zip, and J Mac, you guys came in and said everything right. What a great experience we had, and be able to share it with you guys. I know we're going to talk a little more, but it was just a blessing to be on that team and be a part of bringing it back, as we used to say.
Already.
Yes, sir. All right, close it out, Rich.
Yeah, sorry, I missed a lot of the introductions, but
why am I not surprised at all?
Big surprise.
Are you still like that?
Man, my internet got this.
Nah, I don't want to hear it. 2021, you should have paid that money.
But no, just to kind of echo what everybody's saying. I class of 2011, Richard King. I was a cornerback, and we started at the prep school with Zip, J Mac, D Trav, and we grew together, and it was just amazing to see the transformation that we made starting at the prep school, leading all the way up to our senior year, and then just experiencing that was just amazing. And then to experience it with all the guys that we, sweated on the field with, it was just an amazing experience. So yeah, that's all I got for now.
Yeah, you guys keep forgetting I was a prepster too. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was there as well.
Nobody forgets you, Steve.
Yeah, but no, everybody's hit it. So Army's got Mizzou this tomorrow, and just kind of what we wanted to talk about was what that experience was. It was obviously different because we were all flying from all over the country. So we had practice during T week for SMU, right? Practice all through T's. I think we stayed maybe an extra day. I think Saturday maybe we practiced, and then we all headed home. We all went over all over the country. Georgia, we went to Maryland, we went to Texas, we went to Florida, right? And then we just got handed this plane ticket from the future Major Bagley, right? Zip over there, right? They just handed us a plane ticket or emailed it to us like, hey, this is your flight to Texas. I know me personally, my flight was like 6 a.m. and I wore a suit and I watched film, talk about being engaged way too early, 5 days early, like watching film. But wearing a suit, treating it like a business trip is how my dad kind of talked to me about it. My older brother had played in a national championship game at 1AA already, so they had kind of told me, treat it like a business trip. So I wore a suit, watched film, 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, and got to Texas. So anybody do anything similar, or did people do, most of you probably did something more common sense and like slept on the way and like realized we didn't have a game for like 5 days. But that was just kind of.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, yo.
No, I was just saying that's just kind of who I was as I was kind of intense literally my entire life. I kind of still am. So, but yeah. So D-Trav, what was the experience like for you?
So to begin with, freshman sophomore year were hard times for us, right? I think we went 3-9 both years, if I'm not mistaken, right? So having a bowl game was such an experience. I don't even remember getting a plane ticket. I just remember being there and having a suitcase, which felt good. I still have that suitcase to get. Anybody else still have it?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
The best suitcase in the world.
Perfect carry-on.
Man, I'm so mad. Mine got stolen.
Yeah. Wait. Someone got stolen?
Mine got stolen at the airport.
And rightfully so. But I remember getting a prize. Remember, probably the most prevalent time was, we're doing all these activities, we're going to dinners, we're doing all these good things. But I just remember Coach Ellison saying, like, one practice, like, hey, I'm not going to sleep at like midnight or something like that. Whatever, let's go to the club. And he let us go for that night. We all showed up. The next day,
Yo, that practice, that was our first. That was like our first or second night there, man. Our first or second night, he was like, hey, no curfew. But we had practice the next day, and oh man, all of us struggling.
Oh yeah, the hips are tight.
Yeah. Zip.
But it was good. Do you remember
that practice?
Go ahead.
Yeah, hey,
Zip, do you remember that practice? Because we got a lot of defensive guys on the net right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. I think with any team in college football, when you make a bowl game, it's kind of like a reward. So, generally the strength coaches and the position coaches and everybody kind of backs off of practice and workouts a little bit. And so, I don't think they make it something that is going to be extremely difficult and hard and challenging because they know it's a reward to be in a bowl game. So yeah, guys come in a little bit thicker, a little heavier, and as a result, you show up to warm-ups on the game day and you're bent over sucking wind because you're not quite as in top condition as you were in the season. And oh, by the way, you were on a little bit of leave with family before you show up to that bowl site and start practicing. So for me personally, I played at like 265, 270 during the season, but I can tell you, man, after a few days of eating those pasta bars and that catered food at the bowl site and having easier practices, I was probably tipping 280 by the time we lined up with SMU, man. And man, warm-ups were tough for me, but hey, we got through it and it worked out. That's what I would say about the bowl tempo and practice and all that, man.
Yeah, I remember the whole.
Well, I mean, you kind of hit on it a little bit, but it's the first time Army had been to a bowl game in quite some time. So there was some logistics. There were a lot of things we were figuring out as a program where you had everything on paper, right? Hey, we're going to go here. We had our itinerary. We're going to do this. Hey, these guys are going to have curfew at this time. All that stuff is fine, but the program hadn't done it in a while, right? There's nobody there with experience. I think maybe who was on the staff? Maybe Holmes. Holmes may have had some experience, but he was a younger guy too. I think he was on some dark teams as well.
Coach
did not win a lot of games. But real
hey,
quick,
Steve, you sound like
go ahead and introduce.
Sound like you're in a bubble.
Hilton.
Yeah, bubble.
Mac Mittens, what's up, baby?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Sorry,
I joined a little late. I'm in the Caribbean right now, man. So, but I'm glad I got to hop on with y'all. What's up? What y'all talking about? I hear Zip talking about being 260 and then 280 on game day. What's up, man?
Bowl game practice.
Oh, bowl game
Hey,
practice.
Marcus, all about those bowl games, man. I got to kick out that defensive end, brother. You got to have some mass. It's very important.
Do we want to go with the real stories or do we want to go straight to it? Because I'm all about it. I'll tell you about some of these practices. What is it like the first? Are we? Is it cool to do this?
You got Mr. Sal and Mr. Anderson.
No, it's good. It's all good.
It's all good. I mean, let's be real. We went out one night and it got real hectic that night. Came back and had some of the best practices of our lives that night. That day after practice, I was hungover.
Great practices.
First time.
So what about
Coach Mumford
JJ,
ain't called me
what about
great.
you or BC as a younger guy, kind of experiencing that as sophomores?
Yeah, I'll go off, man. Just elated one to be there, be on the team. I think it was the first night. I remember D-Trav yoked us up. He was like, hey, y'all coming out with us. And the rest was history. We had a great time. And then coming up to practice, definitely was hungover. Coach Colson to the side was like, hey, man, you need to get your shit together. And then also on top of that, Coach Ellison had to talk to me a little bit because I was a little sluggish. You know, I was moving around a little slower. But, you know, we got it out of our system the first couple of days, and I think that's what you're supposed to do, right? You get there, get it out of your system, have fun, and then those last couple of days we tuned it in, and, you know, the rest is history.
Oh, shit. I got to cry on this.
BC, what about you, man?
Oh, man. Definitely a great experience.
I know you guys had ruthless Pat Mealy running that running back room. So did y'all go out or what?
Oh, I was out. I linked in with my fellow DBs that I used to be with on that side of the ball. D-Trav, thank you very much, my brother. But no, it was definitely a great experience. Being on the offensive side of the ball in the tempo that we used to practice at. Referring back to what Zip said, everybody just came in heavy with sucking wind. Yeah. And then Coach Wall was over there. Was like, Cobbsy, you got to keep it going. Got to keep the motor going. I'm just like, Coach, let me live right now, please.
Oh, man. Why does every story start with D-Trav, yo? I don't like it.
So what are other than the, you know, we've kind of hit the first night. Rich, what do you remember about the pregame activities that we did with SMU, or what were some of the things that we did prior to the bowl game that you know, you either disliked, or was thought was awkward or whatever?
Man, I always, to this day, and I always tell people, I didn't know this, but out of all the bowl games, they don't discriminate on the gifts that are given to players. So I just specifically remember that walking into that room, and then you had like 6 different tables full of different gifts, and you were given 6 points. And like table 1, all the gifts on that table were 1 point, and table 2, that was 2 points. And I went straight to table 6. I got that nice recliner chair with the West Point emblem.
Yeah, I got that too.
And we got to keep it in the barracks, and that was awesome. That was one of the things that stood out, was just that experience of walking in to that room, and then you know, the getting to pick out a gift. And then I do specifically remember that one comedy show where it was kind of the type of comedy show where they make up stuff on the fly.
Improv?
Yeah. But it was that, and the nice dinners. I mean, every night there was just a different activity.
Yeah.
That just like kind of blew my mind. And like it was nice because we worked for all of that. So that's kind of what stood out to me.
Yeah, Sean, what about you? What was something that you remember during that whole first week? Basically, it was 5 days prior to the bowl game down there that you just thought was something unique or cool, or something that's always going to stick with you.
Yeah, just like Rick said, you know, all the gifts, that was awesome. But I like the aspect of the actually, like, you know, I felt like an actual, like, you know, instead of being in the military every time we were at West Point, we were actually kind of just regular college football players doing our thing. We were still serving our country, but we had a lot of freedom, and we're still making the commitments, you know, being at the hotel, being able to have freedom during the day, being able to go out at night sometimes. Like, it was that whole experience, you know, while having been at school for, you know, 3.5 years prior, it was nice to be able to celebrate at the end of our career doing something like that.
Yeah, me and Sal kind of talked about it last week, how, you know, these seniors had an opportunity, you know, going favorite against Navy, kind of, you know, just not making it happen. You know, some games are not there, but real chance to come out as winners and have, most likely for the majority of them, their last football game ever to be winners. And I think a lot of us, at least our seniors, that helped kind of cover the wound of never beating Air Force or Navy, is winning with a bowl game and kind of going out as winners with a winning record.
I will put Rutgers up there too. Forget Rutgers, yo. I hated Rutgers so much. Sorry.
Hey,
Remember New Jersey? New Jersey, it was like -9 degrees. Remember that? New Jersey, -9 degrees. Getting whooped.
All right, so yeah, we remember Rutgers, Donovan.
My bad.
But what else? Who else has got something for that week that something that just stuck out to them or they remember that they just kind of want to bring up? I remember we had some kind of like competition against SMU on some stage with like cups or something. I can't 100% remember it. But we did some competition against SMU where we all had dinner together at, I think it was some huge steakhouse, right?
Yeah,
anybody
we
remember
did.
that?
Yep.
Don't remember what we did, but I do remember something vaguely.
Yeah, a couple players from each team, from Army, from SMU, went up on stage and we competed. It was something with like eggs or spoons. It was something we had to do, but
Right.
quick little fun thing. Small little fun trash talk. But yeah.
I mean, it was cool to hang out with those guys, though, just a little bit to see where they're coming from and what they did, and the season that they went through. I don't think they were probably just as good as us, like 7-6 too as well, or 6-6 if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a little bit better. But it was just cool to hang out with the guys. We saw them in the bars; they're all cool. I mean, they're all there for the same thing, just to have fun and have a good time. So definitely the bowl experience. I can only imagine like a better bowl, like the playoffs or something crazy, especially with the gifts that we got. Like I think Ray said it, how we walk into the room, we can get the new Xbox, the PlayStation, whatever, and it's just a great experience to have. Everything was paid for. I didn't put my wallet out once.
Yeah, I think for me, as I like kind of look back outside of like all the shenanigans and stuff, I was all about it. I think Steve, you kind of hit on it a bit where we're talking about that last hoorah, right? Like you think of it all in some like Michael Jordan type shit, Last Dance, right? Like coming full circle, thinking about all the different coaching staffs that we went through, all the different regimes coming from, 2-9 season, some of us barely playing sometimes, and then making that first change the junior year, right? Where we saw some progress. We're like, man, all right, the guys that we came in with are really starting to make an impact. And then now you come in the senior year and we're really rocking, right? We're making some noise. We had some tough losses, had some games that I think we probably could have won. We won it back. But just going through those memories and then capping it off with a bowl experience, which I think in my personal opinion, I think probably you guys would probably agree as well, is that was the catalyst or like the turning point of the program itself, right? People started really being like, okay, Army's kind of doing some stuff right, and then we left, and to be honest, I think they went kind of downhill a little bit again, right? I was like, man, what the hell? I felt kind of embarrassed sometimes.
Yeah, we
Come on,
did.
guys.
We did.
Felt a little embarrassed, but I think
that's Ellerson.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I know JJ, you got some pride, man. You're like, man, I just came from a bowl game, and now we back in the slums a little bit. But to now go from that experience, see where we are now, where they've been ranked sometimes, they're doing great. Just to know that the guys that are on this chat right now were kind of the catalyst for that. Definitely
right.
Yeah, and if I can, Steve, I know you're gonna go to another question. I'll just add to that, Marcus. It was like not the changing of the guard, but you guys as upperclassmen passed the torch to us young bucks, and at the same time, look at who came after us that we were able to mentor and instill a fire into, and then those were like byproducts of the success we started seeing as 2016, 2017 rolled around. So, even way back then in 2010, you can just see a lot of roots starting to take root in what was coming in the years to come. So I think you guys as upperclassmen had a big impression on us, and to be able to do that in that bowl game experience with all you guys, I think it transitioned over to the younger classmen as well.
Yeah, I mean, and JJ, you said it earlier, right? I mean, since we kind of, all of us started playing. I mean, our saying was bring it back, right? We just wanted to bring a winning season back to Army. We wanted to bring winning back to Army, and that was it. I remember right after the game, Coach Ellison grabbed me up, gave me a hug, and just said, you brought it back. And it felt good. It feels good to do something that you say you're going to do and you work hard for and you do it. But as we talk about transitioning to, kind of like a bunch of the pregame festivities, right? We're all kind of having fun. We're making this a good time, right? We traveled like 95 people, right? We brought a whole bunch of freshmen with them, a bunch of dead weight essentially, but give them the experience, right? But whatever. It's my tax-paying dollars that sent them there anyway, so who cares? But we talk about there's a that switching of hotels, right? Remember we were in like the fun downtown area for like the first 2 or 3 nights, and then we transferred somewhere closer to the stadium the night before the game, right? And that we based our routine, the timeline, right? We left just like we would left at West Point. We left at 3:00 from that hotel. The bus ride was about 45 minutes, like just like our home games, and that was kind of like when I was like, okay, it's time to really really let's key in here, right? We had our CEP nighttime with our football teams. I know the offense did it as well with Major Tillman. But anybody got any memories or anything they can talk about, like when we packed up our bags from kind of like the fun hotel or like where we celebrated basically for 2 or 3 days, and then how it locked them in when we started making that move to, hey, we're 24 hours. I know Coach Ellison used to say the day before, but that 24-hour mark hit, and I remember distinctly. Steve Erzinger was my roommate, another great linebacker, and he just kind of was like, the fun is over, like it's business time.
Yeah, I would say that, since just being a sophomore that year, on the offensive side of the ball, I had, the leadership is what I would say the young guys like me and JJ, we look to you all to make sure that we were just locked in and on the same page as everybody else. I remember getting on the bus, saw Zip, stone cold face, was like, hey, it's time to focus, time to get y'all stuff right, especially right before going into meetings. And then Pat Mealy definitely had the slot backs on lock as well. So it was just that leadership, man, that trickled down through every player that was in that moment so that we were all on the same page and ready to fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, but I think what we did really well, at least, from my perspective, was being locked in was different for everybody else, right? It was different for everybody, right? So, like, I didn't want, all of the linebacking core to be like me because it would just literally just everybody would just be staring just intensely all the time, right? Or that doesn't work, right? Like I didn't try to make Sean prepare like me, right? And I think there's a certain aspect of like everyone's got to be prepared, like if someone's locked in or not. And I think we all held each other accountable to this point where it was like, hey, like, I know you're locked in because I've seen you do this for the past 12 weeks, right? 13 weeks. So I'll know if you're not locked in. So, and I think there's a trust factor, right? Like, we all wanted to be locked in because we wanted to leave it all out there. Zip, what about the O-line room? Like, is that how you guys kind of felt like? Do you feel like you guys all locked in similar? Like, everybody kind of had their own way?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I talked about, coming into the bowl game in a sense of, like, not being as sharp as the sword needed to be. But with that being said, once we got into Texas and into the bowl game set, we turned the switch on, and practice and focus was where it needed to be, because it's like you alluded to and touched on early on. We felt some kind of way about Air Force and Navy and some of those games not working out in the sense of how we wanted them to. And we knew we had a chance to leave a lasting impact and to make history in a way with the bowl game, and to use that avenue to kind of close out our time as Army football players on a high note and to kind of, leave our place in the history books with not having, the program had not won a bowl game since I think 1996 at the time. So it was a great opportunity. And I think because of what was presented there, we were able to really invest in that and put together a pretty good performance and a good week of practice leading up to it. So yeah, I think knowing all the background to it, knowing that was the last stand there, and having a chance to put it out there was pretty good, and it played into our practice, our preparation across the offensive line, and just our desire to end on a good note. So yeah.
Sal, what was just to kind of get we're getting a lot of intake of like the week. What was and honestly, I don't know a lot about this because now I'm all about what's on the outside of the team, right? That's where I live. I don't know what's on the inside of the team. Well, when I played, I didn't know what was on the outside of the team. I didn't know what expectations were. I didn't know anything. So someone who had been following the team, what was the feel like? Did you guys feel like we had, an actual shot? Did you feel like, we matched up well? I honestly have never asked that question and never really thought about it.
Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, I took a road trip out to Kent State to watch you guys clinch the bowl berth, right? So I knew this team, seeing that game really told me that you guys were going to play this out to the end. And, before the bowl game, it didn't go your way for Navy, but you guys had to win the bowl game to have that winning season that you were striving for, right? I mean, so it was all on the line there. I knew you guys were going to give it everything you got. And quite honestly, look at that SMU team. We've talked about it before, Steve. There was a lot of talent on that SMU team. Cole Beasley was on that team. Eldrick Robinson was on that team.
Wait, he was?
Yeah. Kelvin Beachum was on that team. Kelvin Beachum starting for the Cardinals still right now at tackle. Good old Chris Banjo was on that team. He's playing special teams for the Cardinals. There were like Zach Line. There were like 7 NFL guys on that SMU team, I think. Something like that. It was crazy. So when you guys got that start and got that quick start on defense. And, I saw that you guys were here to play. You guys, that was a pretty early start, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was a noon kickoff, so it was 11 o'clock local time. I could be wrong. So I knew that you guys came ready to play.
Yeah, no, and we always talked about, striking soon. So, we had a great play by Zach Watts with McNary's scoop and score, which was huge, just kind of set the momentum for the game.
Hey, but you caught him though. You caught him. You ran it down.
He off the net, right, Sal? He dropped off.
Yeah. I want him. Hey, I was wondering you gonna bring it up because I was gonna talk mess. I'm like, hey man, see, ran you down. And blocked somebody and pointed at him, and then Rich King came behind you and like pointed at him too.
Yeah, that was
hey, watch the highlight. Watch the highlight on YouTube. You can see Rich King pointing at the dude like laughing. I was like, this is so insulting. He's already on the ground.
I can't really say what I said on the field, but then I just whacked his ass and sent it to the end zone.
Yeah, you pointed at him and then hit him, and then Rich King came and pointed at him to the ground. I'm like, come on, man.
I had never known Rich had come behind me and point at him. That's
you didn't see it? Oh, watch it on YouTube. I promise you. You will see number 2 running behind you just laughing.
I think he said, ew, yo.
Oh. But yeah, that was a good start. And then Zach and BC, I know all these guys can talk about the defensive side of the ball, and we came out strong. I think it was 16-0, if I remember correctly. And we kind of were in control of the game, the whole game. So, was there anything that you guys? I think Malcolm Brown had the other touchdown right down the left side of the end zone. So didn't get Malcolm on here, but can you guys kind of talk about offensively having the lead and how much that helps you guys kind of relax and run the offense the way you want to, knowing that there's no real pressure we got to score on this drive.
Yeah. I'll hop in on the offensive standpoint and mindset. I mean, the J-Mac play, we all remember the scoop and score.
Yeah.
And, that was really, I think, kind of contagious across the team when it came to motivation and just the energy and the mindset of it. But, yeah, I felt like we were able to move the ball. I think we had a couple possessions where we came up a little bit empty-handed, but we still felt kind of in control of being able to do what we wanted to do from an offensive standpoint. There was never really a time where I felt like, they had the edge on us. I think we kind of let a couple opportunities get away during that game, but I still think everybody had a general confidence of like, we can pop one off if it hits right. And most folks felt pretty good about their assignments up front. I'll let B. Cobbs talk a little more about that from the backfield, but from a offensive line standpoint, I think we felt pretty good lining up with that SMU D line.
With that momentum of that scoop and score, it allowed at least the backfield to relax a little bit. It gave us a little bit of room to breathe, and that way we could operate in what we do best and get into a rhythm. With the way that our offense was, it was all about timing. So once everybody started to operate in that rhythm, it allowed everything to operate more smoothly. Like Zip said, we had a couple opportunities that got away from us, but it was that motivation, that sense of urgency, that excitement, and that energy that we maintained pretty much throughout, which allowed us to operate the best way we could.
Hey, Steve, we're not gonna not talk about your interception and our almost failed attempt to lateral.
Yeah,
so I could try to.
Yeah, no.
So you try to be like me and BMI. We just try to be like me and BMI. That's all.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like Donovan at BMI and pitch it back to you when I intercepted the ball. I remember as I was trying to pitch it, the guy had tackled me and wrapped his hands around the ball, around my chest. I just remember locking eyes with JJ, and JJ's like, his hands are like out, like, here, give me the ball. And I'm just like, I'm like trying to give it to him. I can't do it. But yeah, that was definitely one of the more memorable plays for me. Another really good memorable play was, it was like 3rd and 10, and Coach Sadat's literally telling me, Steve, they're going to run the screen, 2 Lions, and it's going to be a middle screen. You better make this fucking play. And no shit, 3rd and 10, and I break out of there really quick, like reading my reads, and I'm like, oh shit, Coach said there was screen. There was the screen. I made the play.
Good stuff, yo. Middle screen, I can help you, man. Them linemen are down on me, boy. I can't help you.
Yeah, if I didn't make that play and Sadat had told me that that play and I didn't make it, it probably would have been bad. So, what about Rich? What about you? Do you remember any specific play or series that stuck out to you that you'll always remember or think of or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's whenever David Brooks caught that pass that basically sealed the game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That did feel good. That
was, yeah. Because
that's how good it felt.
Because, so we were in control of the game, but SMU was kind of making their way back, and then
they had some athletes on there. I think they had some athletes on there, man.
And then finally, our offense had the ball, and then that's the one play that sticks out to me, because once that happened, I was like, yes.
So
Rich, you don't wait, hold on, Rich.
It wasn't Beasley. I know it wasn't Beasley, but didn't one of their receivers have like 180 yards or 7 catches or something crazy? I can't remember.
Yeah, probably Robinson, Aldrick Robinson. Yeah. Yeah,
because the quarterback will fade to a certain area, and he was always looking at me. And I'm like, Rich, you got to stay on top of the 9 route, because he's going to throw it if I'm not over there. Was that the receiver? It had to be him. Because I'm like, man, this dude is going crazy.
Yeah, I was guarding him all game, so I was trying to keep up with him.
Oh,
that little dude was fast. The little dude was fast, man.
Sean, what about you? You got any play specifically that you'll always remember, or you always remember that feeling of throughout that game that was kind of like, man, we've done it.
I mean, to be honest with you, the whole game, like start right off the start, scoring right off the bat, like early on, like that kind of just really gave the momentum, and just kind of, to me, it was like, all right, this is what we need. You could just see everybody felt confidence, and it was like, all right, we're gonna keep this going, and we just never gave up. And so, I wouldn't say any specific play.
Shit, I just had a good time, though. I'll tell you that right now. I had a great time on the fucking defense.
Especially after the game, D-Trav.
I can't confirm nor deny. And the allegation against me.
Hold up. We're still on the game now. We'll cover post-game festivities in a minute.
But one thing I did do, and then I wish Donnie would get on here, but I didn't tell Donnie this. This is a good story with me, Donnie. So, I saw his dad. You know Donnie's dad. And everybody knows Donnie's dad. And so Saul said, what's up with this and that? It was like the middle of, I think it was like second or third quarter. And I was like, oh, man, I'm hurt. So I went out for like a whole series. And then Donnie came back. He's like, I know what you're doing. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you ain't hurt. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to catch my breath right now, man. But that, I had so much appreciation for Donnie, and just him as a person, and I want him to smack somebody, because Donnie will smack somebody. He like, Westy, they gonna smack somebody. I'm not that. I need my body. Don't touch my body.
Yeah, I think I think the majority of us are feeling the playing days. I mean, I know. I'm still hovering around 230, 235. I didn't lose any playing weight. So, my shoulders and knees, back, they all hurt pretty bad.
Oh, make sure y'all go to the DA. Get that. Oh.
You guys heard Zip. He played about 280 in the bowl game. Zip, what are you weighing now, 210, 205?
Hey, I'll be honest. I hover around 215. And
that's some bullshit.
Hey,
how am I bigger than you?
My knees can handle so much pressure. So 15 feels pretty good, man. I tell you, it's better than that. 265, 270.
Hey, you look good though, Zip. You look good, baby.
Hey, I wanted to show you this, man. I brought this.
Donnie D. Was there like an ongoing bet if I was going to make it?
Donnie D.
No, we were just
No. I gotta get off now. That's it. I gotta go.
Donovan told a story real quick about the game. So, do you remember a time when Donovan was like sucking wind? He was like, I'm sore. I gotta sit out. And you like.
When was Donovan not sore? This is more than anybody I ever met in my life.
I got a bad back.
All right, I got it. Hold on one second. So I got to be honest.
Hey, Donnie, man, you look like you need for a haircut, brother. I'm just
video
saying,
format or something like that. So I just got home and I'm shirtless. Let me throw some clothes on.
Yeah, do that, Donnie.
Who's that talking?
You can always
next time I call you, you better put some clothes on. Next time we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah, hold on. Let me do this right now. Actually, hold on. All right.
So
I got a lot of questions.
Going for 40
I need a lot of answers.
Hey,
all
JJ.
right.
Yeah.
Like you were just talking about it a little bit. But you and Rich both were covering probably one of the most athletic players on the field at any given time. Rich as a senior, JJ as a sophomore, and just kind of talk about, because I mean, the resiliency you have to have, because he's going to catch balls, right? Like he's going to catch.
You'll get his.
You just don't want him to catch, the game-changing, momentum-shifting balls. So. Can you just kind of talk about kind of like the resiliency, or like what your thought process was when, he did catch a touchdown or he did catch a bomb, and they're going to be targeting him again, and just kind of how you get back to reset?
Yeah, so I found myself on him probably like 80% of the whole game. I was on him. Knowing how fast he was a little intimidating, but for the most part, we contained them pretty well. Other than the touchdown that he got on me, I'll never forget it. Right, he put me on skates. I remember after the game getting my phone and all my friends back home were like, "Damn, man, why he put you on roller skates like that?"
That's how you know they're friends, man.
Exactly, they keep it real. But no, other than that, we did a really good job containing him. He had a couple of curl routes, 7, 8 yards, 10 yards here, but he didn't really get loose. Unlike number 3. Number 3 was catching some stuff all over the field. But even with that, I believe our defense did a really good job of, as you guys said earlier, of never feeling like we were behind the power curve, letting our offense not feel that pressure and do what they do. But yeah, it was a little intimidating, but it was fun, and also it was rewarding taking on that challenge and then be able to come out successful. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, I just remember leading up and before the game, we did our homework on these receivers. So I wasn't necessarily intimidated, but I was definitely prepared for them. But I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like the first series, they threw a 9 route or something like that on my ass, and he caught it. And
it was the first play. It was the first play, bro.
Yeah, and
I remember.
If I swear to God, I found out they checked to that play.
And it lit a fire under my ass because after that moment, I knew that I had to stay locked in, and I think for the most part, to your point, I mean, we did a pretty good job at holding them. Yeah.
Donnie played Sam Backer, which is essentially a strong safety for the 2010 Armed Forces Bowl. Donnie, I'll just do a quick intro for you. 2011 grad. And Donnie, just as you're showing up, we kind of talked about the pregame festivities during the week, and then right now we're just kind of talking about what's a play that you remember or a moment in the game that you'll always remember. We've covered a couple, the scoop and score, the David Brooks catch that sealed the deal. Was there any series or plays or moments that you want to share that just kind of like let you really appreciate being in a bowl game or appreciate the game?
It looks like he froze.
Nah, I think he's just thinking.
Yeah. No, he's in Hawaii, man. They got that Hawaii internet. It's like 6 hours slow.
That's all he thinks.
All right, I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Donnie. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, please stop me if I rehash something that y'all have already talked about. And by the way, I haven't said it already. My apologies for being late. I just got off work. I'm out here on Hawaii time. So, not to make this about me, but I remember the one thing that I remember was being scared as heck. I'm not sure if y'all remember, but I had that real bad hip pointer that I got during Army Navy 3 or 4 weeks earlier. So, I didn't have any reps in practice coming into the game. And Jay Trim, who unfortunately is not in this call, I was kind of hoping he was going to be here. He and I shared the workload as it was at the Sam Backer, but it fell on him for the majority of the game. And if y'all recall, the second to last defensive play, Trim tore his ACL, and at that point, it came down to Coach Smealin, hopped on the phone, and his choices were Donnie, who could barely run and hadn't taken a single rep against this offensive scheme, or Ty Schrader, who at the time I believe was a freshman or a sophomore.
Ty Schrader.
Coach, I love that kid, though. He was awesome. But Coach Smealin asked me if I wanted to go, and I said, well, I didn't want to, but I think we have no other choice, really. So went in there, and that was probably the scaredest I've ever been on a defensive play, because we all know, we played college football, coaches recognize when a guy is out. They know it's probably due to some sort of injury or something of that nature. So when I came in, I knew they were going to come at me. And I think it was a third down type situation. And Steve, I'm not sure if you remember this, but I lined up, and you probably could see the fear in my eyes. I mean, you're a very emotionally intelligent guy. So I looked over at you, and you just kind of gave me a nod, and it gave me a little bit of reassurance. And sure as heck, because I'm not sure what kind of rating we're on here. Sure as heck, they run a slant play right at me, and Steve leveled the guy about 1 or 2 yards short of the first down.
Yes.
And I think on the subsequent play, we wound up stopping him. And I'll tell you, that was probably the scariest I've ever been in my football career. I thought I was going to blow Army's first chance at a bowl win in decades. And I was going to go down with an asterisk next to my name, on Army football history. So thank you for that, Steve.
Hey, Steve. Well, we got Donnie on the net. Just to jump in, man. I know we're talking about the bowl game, but I would be remiss.
Zip, where are you about to go with this?
Hey, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the 2011 USMAPs versus USNAPs W that we put on that Navy prep school when we.
Very true, very true. Yeah, I guess
our last bowl game. So
yeah,
we didn't beat them
setting the precedent.
Academy. We'll take that W, and so we need to highlight that.
Zip, I guess one could argue that we had started the trend in victory over Navy there. So, because those guys went on to have pretty good careers. They were building the program. We talk all the time about being a brotherhood, and our connections span generations. And it's nice to think that Zip, you might have had some sort of influence on a generation that changed things around in a very significant way.
Right. So. Yeah, all the new jerseys that they got. Yeah, that's because of us. I know y'all saw them jerseys. I know you saw the jerseys. The Storm ones? Oh!
My fiance watches the games only for the jerseys. She gets so excited about the damn
jerseys. Man, Desert Storm was sweet. What?
Hey, those are pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
Hey, what about the Army camo ones? That was terrible. The ACU ones. They were so tight. The largest were smalls.
For real. Everybody was like squeezing the things, trying to like.
I had to get help into my pads. Usually it's just offensive linemen.
Hey, Steve, I'm not sure if you covered this, but what kind of inspired you to put this thing together?
Yeah, we're not here. I'm not hearing Steve right now.
Can't hear you,
All
bro.
right, Steve. Uh-oh. Don't do this.
Yeah. We were talking last week. We had actually Ali on last week, Ali Villanueva on our podcast, and we were talking a little bit about what we can do for this week. And we thought, let's try to get a reunion here. It would have been nice last year to do this, but this is Army was playing in the Liberty Bowl, not the Armed Forces Bowl. So it's kind of, I don't know if you guys saw today. I think they put out yesterday, Army put out a video about how they love to play in the state of Texas, right? And they have the 2017 and 18 bowl games. But then I see a highlight of Steve making a tackle and pumping his fist up right in the middle of that. And I'm like, I miss those highlights from 2010 because back then, right, social media wasn't so prevalent, right? I had a Twitter account, but I didn't know what I was doing, so those highlights, I miss seeing those highlights of the game because you look at, there's so many great highlights in that bowl game for you guys, right? You had the scoop and score, but you guys were talking about just plays that you'll remember and defensive stands. And I remember being on the field for that final Steelman to Brooks throw, and it's just I get choked up even thinking about it right now because that's the only bowl game I've ever attended of Army's, the 2010 game.
Oh, really?
I didn't go to the other ones. And man, that's a memory that I'll never forget. I'll put that number 2. The Army-Navy streak broken in 2016 was my top one. But, number 2 would be 100% your guys bowling. Steve's back. We have Steve back now.
Yeah, you guys got me right.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Reed man in, baby.
Oh my God, Seth Reed. Now we need the Mr. Pitts.
That's major read to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Major. And he got the haircut Major, too.
Hey, all right. So most everybody here is a prepster, right? Most everybody.
Not Westy.
Not Westy. Hey, Cobbs, did you go to prep school?
Nope, direct to.
Okay, you're
There you go.
So
Yeah, he
I
put
had
other
a
on his
thought
race.
Yeah.
He put
Man,
Indian.
I miss you, man. I miss you so much. You were the highlight of my West Point football experience. So I thought to myself just before I got out of the Army, I got out in July of 2020. I think I'm not sure who all's still in. I've to my shame, I've not maintained contact with anybody from the football team, but so I'm not sure what y'all's situation is as far as active duty, if y'all are out or whatever. But I remember just before I got out, we were about to enter our primary zone for promotion. And I started thinking back to Captain Morgan. For those of y'all who are prepsters, he was the Alpha Company TAC. And I remember thinking how old he looked. And I said, I'm older than that guy. Now I'm older now than that guy was when I first met him. And I think to myself, do I look that old? Because he looked old to me.
Yes, you do, Donnie. All right, just to be serious.
Even with the hair?
No, but so we just kind of to kind of just continue on what we're talking about, the post game celebration, and how I think that's when I finally realized how important it is for Army to win. And when we won that bowl game, I met probably 60 grads, Army football players and just grads that could not buy me enough drinks, could not tell me how important this game was, and could not tell me just what it means for Army to win this bowl game. Anybody else experience that, like after the game when they were out and about at the tailgates, or if you went to a couple bars that night, or if you did a bottle service table, VIP table, if you did that?
I don't know what this rating is on this live. But I remember I went out to a club. I don't know who I was with. But man. That's all I got to say. My lawyer has told me not to say nothing. Were we in? I don't know where we were, but I had a great time.
Hey, bro, we were out there. JJ, me.
We were out there. That's all I gotta say. That's all my lawyer loves me to say. We were out there.
Hey, Steve, we ended up at that club. I can't remember the name of the club, but we ended up there. Good times, fun time.
Did any of y'all wind up? Once again, I don't want to rehash anything, but one of the most interesting aspects of the bowl game for me was just the different nature of it. I mean, I can't remember. I think we were down there like 5 days before the game, something like that. And the first couple days, if you remember, the coaches kind of let us do our thing. And I don't remember the name of the street, but we were put up at a hotel on one end of the street. SMU was put up at a hotel at the other end of the street, and all the bars were in between. So the thing that I remember was this was the first time you actually kind of got to meet your opponent, the person put a face to a scouting report. Yeah. And I remember them, buying us drinks and trying to introduce us to their local girls, because for them it was a home game, So my question is, getting back to post game, did any of y'all see any SMU guys out after the game and get to party with them a little bit more?
No, I didn't.
They were pretty sour, I guess.
I just remember being in the club with Steve. That's all I remember. Yeah.
Hey! You said your lawyer wouldn't let you say nothing, man. What are you doing?
Hey,
he didn't pay me enough.
D-Trap, do you remember the Armed Forces trophy in the locker room after the game?
No. What?
You were taking.
Was I already when I got to the locker room? I just know Steve won all the awards for the bowl game.
Yeah.
22 people on both sides. One person
You know
won
what?
everything.
I told you my story, so I agree. He should have gotten every last one of them awards because he saved my behind from the annals of history.
Hey, Donnie's. Oh, shit.
Yeah. What's up?
No, I was telling them. Remember, I was like, when I came out the game and I went to go wrestle the offense, and you came to me, you're like, I know what you're doing.
Trav, I was talking about you the other. First of all, I want to so whoever actually is responsible for putting this together, thank you so much. Because like I said, I haven't talked to any of these faces in 10 years except for Steve.
Yeah.
I visited Steve at Campbell and met his wife and his beautiful children. I don't know, a few years back. But man, I'll tell you, I was talking about you to my fiance. You got to be one of the funniest people I've ever met. Honestly, I have, and on top of that, I have so much respect for you as a football player and as a leader. I think you were probably one of the most influential people on our defense and on our team in general. And I don't think that you got the credit. I mean, I know you're saying Steve got all the awards, so on and so forth, and they're well deserved for sure. But man, I'll tell you what, you've got to be one of the most influential people I've ever seen on a team. And I'm not sure that you ever got the accolades that you quite deserved. So.
Nah, man, I don't do it for the accolades, baby. I do it for the people that's on this cam right now because I'm going to need you at one point. I don't know when, but I'm going to need each and every one of you guys.
As long as you don't.
It might be 5 years. It might be 2 years. It might be 10 years. I'm going to need you, and I don't want you ever stick your nose up like, I don't know. But I did it for you, yo. I was like, yo. I was telling them because I met your dad. Your dad was there, and I was like, oh, man. Fucking Donnie Dixon's dad is in here. He ain't in the game. Hold on a second real quick.
My dad, from the time I was a senior in high school, he and I were living separate. Every game that I played in high school and every game I played in college, he didn't miss one of them.
Yeah.
Really?
He flew to Texas, Colorado, wherever it was. He was at every single game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
Yeah. So, man, priorities, I guess.
Good stuff, man. That bowl game was super fun, man. I just wish, man, I wish we went into like 3 years out of 4.
Yeah.
Hey,
I wish we would won more, and like I can only imagine like the Cotton Bowl or like Chick-fil-A Bowl or something like maybe something crazy like that. They give you everything.
My dad asked me that question the other day. He said, "Hey, what gift did you take from the bowl game? You remember we got like gifts or whatever?"
Yeah.
He asked me what gift I got. What did y'all take? I took
The bowl chair.
What was it? I think it was the
Lazy
suitcase
boy.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the lazy boy?
Lazy boy.
Oh, I took the
okay.
Sony camera. I was Shaq at
Trav,
the.
hey,
I was at Shaq in 1995 All-Star contest.
hey, Trav, I don't want to be that guy, but maybe you should ask me for some Rogaine or something, man. You looking?
Oh.
Me?
I'm
Yeah.
messing with you, brother.
No, I got 2 years, yo. The next year the player.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm the one who keeps getting us off topic here.
I mean, this is because you got that the chia pet on your head, yo. That'll make you all.
Hey, just you guys got me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Hey, this is 11 years. It's 11 years since we played in this bowl game on December 30th. So not quite 11 years just yet, but I think we can all admit that that was an awesome experience and something that we'll always remember. So as Army goes to play against an SEC team, right, Mizzou, tomorrow, the one thing I would want them to just know is that this experience is going to be with them the rest of their lives, and
enjoy it all.
Especially as a West Point football player, because 99% of them are not going to play another football game. It is so worth it to end up as a winner.
And we beat Vanderbilt. We beat Vanderbilt.
And it will make their life so much better.
already, man. But no, it was great seeing y'all, man. Oh my gosh, I got your numbers. I'm gonna start texting whoever number this is, Joe. I don't have no name. I'm just gonna start texting people.
Hey, so I do have one ask of y'all because only a couple people did it. When we got the group chat together, a couple people replied with their names, but like if everybody could reply with their numbers, because I want to do a better job of connecting with y'all.
Right.
I'd really appreciate that if after we got off the call, if y'all could do that.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Already.
Except for
Seth
you, Rich.
Reed. What's up, Seth? I didn't hear from Seth at all, baby.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
gotta
think you're
get
looking
Seth
like
on.
195 pounds.
Sorry,
You okay?
man.
I got questions and concerns.
I showed up late.
I can't hear you. Reed. Oh boy, it's 2021. Here we go.
It's not working. You can't hear me.
I think
You
we got
good?
you now. We got you now, sir.
Man, God damn, man. This is like Donnie and Trav comedy hour. Steve, they've been doing this all the time, man. Like, I'm going to have to go back.
You know you're my favorite.
Oh, man, I show up late. I have tech issues. I'm a mess, man. I'm a mess. I don't know if, Steve, you guys, I don't know how many you know. I'm back at West Point. So it's actually
DPE.
No, God, man. It's still the same. Y'all would know. It's still the same. I still get the sweats when I walk by Argo, man.
High zero.
It ain't right, man. It still ain't right. But yeah, when Steve asked me to do this, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, one, just getting to see you guys again. So I hated that I was late. But getting to hear everybody, and like Donnie said, hopefully we can connect, get some of these numbers, and make this a more recent thing.
I thought you were running for office.
I remember.
You better talk to me real.
Yeah, I remember covering the team. Seth was one of my go-tos. So
yeah,
for interviews.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. That was always nice to me, man. It's when you change positions, it's you're an easy target. But I've always appreciated, how supportive you were of all of us who changed positions, because I know there was quite a few, especially in between the coaching changes. So, damn, man, I'm late. I feel bad. I miss all the good stories.
Oh, it's all love, baby.
I was late too, Seth. I came in about 45 minutes into it. So.
Yeah, but you're in stride, Donnie, man. You were like, when I turned it on, like you were already
going.
We'll go. That was good.
It's all good. It's all good, Seth.
All of the comedy / all of the distractions and issues are D Trav's fault, because I don't normally act like this unless I'm around him.
So nothing has changed. That's good. That's good.
Oh, I ain't never gonna change. That's where I go.
Well, that's how
never
you
change, Trav. Never.
Well, I mean, think about,
I'm just crazy. I just understood I'm crazy, and I love it.
Well,
it's
in all reality, think about how many hours we spent with the people in this chat.
Too many.
I spent more hours with you guys probably than I did the majority of my NCOs during my entire military career.
Right. Well, Donnie, that's what, we became, kind of like a cliche phrase, but we all became boys to men together through literally spending 80% of the hours together. And it was by choice, the majority of it. It wasn't by force. It was by choice. Like, we chose to stay at the community center.
Oh, Steve muted.
Steve frozen again.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
Oh my God, Trav, I love you. Are you in Texas right now, Trav?
Nah, man, I can't tell you where I'm at right now. I'm on the run.
You ain't that important.
I can't tell you where I'm at.
It's free down here.
Nah, I'm in Cali.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, I got it. Wait, permanently or just for the time being?
For the time being, at least. I don't know.
Okay, well, wherever you're at, I'm leaving Hawaii in the next year and a half or so. When I come back to the mainland, friggin' oh, by the way, let me extend an invite to y'all. I'm out in Hawaii. I've got an extra room. If any of y'all want to come to the Big Island over the next 6 months or so, or Oahu after that, we got a bed up on Oahu too. So.
Oh, don't tell me that, yo.
No, you're not invited. I meant everybody except
I'll pull up with a dread wig, yo, like Yaman.
Wrong island, brother.
It looks like Steve is gonna Steve can't get back on, so we're gonna wrap this up, guys. If you want to do you have one more maybe memory or just a parting thought here? It was great to get you guys all together tonight. I mean, this was a great team. This is a team, I always say this to Steve, this is a team that sometimes gets forgotten with the winning that's going on at West Point right now. But you guys were the first team to win a bowl game since the 80s, and you guys were the first team to have a winning season since that 96 season. So anybody have a parting thought before we go?
If it's okay, I know I've been kind of dominating the conversation, or at least I feel like I have been. I would like to say this so I can be serious for a second. Steve asked about the celebrations after the game, and we went out and we had those, and those were great. But I'm not sure if any current football players are going to hear or watch this. I'm not sure how this is going to come out. I'm not up on podcasts, but I sat in the locker room for a real long time after that bowl game, even though it was a win. And that's when it really hit me that I was never going to put on pads again. And, that was a very, fortunately we won, but that was a very sobering thought. So like everybody else said, really drink it in, love your brothers, rely on them. They'll take care of you. Things are going to turn out all right. And as Steve said, this is going to be something that you remember for the rest of your life.
Shit, I guess I'll pick.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll pick it back off this. And Sal, Steve, thanks for putting this together. Zip, Seth, Reed, nice to see you. Hope you're still talking to Mr. Pitts. Rich King, JJ, BC, Westy, Donnie. Man, I wish we had more people on here. We can keep this going all day. So it's just been a pleasure to play with you guys. Through ups and downs too, because we had some downs that sophomore year. Even that junior year in the beginning was kind of rough too. I think the junior year we should have won a lot more games, but that senior year really set us off for the path we're on now, right? I know I keep joking about the jerseys that they have, and this and that. That's us. It was us. We created that culture. We had the athletes. We had the mindset. I mean, so thank you guys for being on here, man. I'm glad you guys doing well. Hopefully your mental health is good. Your physical health is good. Hope you got paid by the VA. If you are out, make sure you get paid by the VA. Take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And much love. Anytime. So I'm the 210 number, probably the only one on there. So you know me. I'm a phone call or FaceTime away. We can get geeking on the FaceTime and laugh all day. You feel me?
Absolutely. Anybody else like to?
Hey, Sal, I'll drop a quick line before I hop off. It was a great time. Appreciate you putting this together tonight. Really good to see a lot of the former players on the team. I think most of us would agree when I say that we eat, breathe, and sleep Army football. There's prepsters on here that played at the prep and then 4 years at the school. There's some guys in here that have GA'd. That's 6 years there. And myself personally getting ready to go back and work with the Army football team. We're committed to it, and it's a part of who we are. So it's great to bring a group together like this and talk about that 2010 team because we really did, redirect and do something that hadn't been done in a very long time. So it was really cool, and it meant a lot for us at the time to go out on that kind of note. And it's exciting that tomorrow there's another Armed Forces Bowl. So, all of us are ingrained in it, and we really feel it on a week-to-week basis. And Army football matters, winning matters. In the active duty Army football is a big deal. It just is. People gravitate to it. People look at it. People follow it. So it matters, and winning matters. So I would say that it's really a big part of all of us that are on this Zoom call and just the greater Army in general, because people track it, and Army football players have done a lot of good things when it comes to the active duty military. So appreciate you putting this together. It's been a great night. Thanks.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll do this again maybe soon to get you guys together, and follow us on Black Knight Nation podcast, our website, and our YouTube channel. And we'll sign off with a little Go Army beat Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Are we doing a countdown?
You know.